Creditors for DHFL is now mulling to allow all bidders to submit fresh bids under any option that they want. This is what we are picking up from sources at this point. So now this started, of course, after Adani Properties had said that they are willing to submit a fresh bid for the entire company instead of just for the wholesale book and the slum rehabilitation book of DHFL. They had written a letter to the Committee of Creditors saying that they are willing to in fact bid more than Oaktree Capital, which was the sole bidder for the entire company. They were willing to bid 250 to 300 crores more than Oaktree Capital is what we had picked up from sources that back then. To this, the letter that was sent by Adani Properties, Piramal Enterprises had written a letter to the COC as well. Piramal Enterprises had said that a last-minute offer like this from Adani Properties should not be accepted by the Committee of Creditors. In fact, they had even threatened to walk out of the entire process if such a last-minute bid or the offer is accepted by the Committee of Creditors. At that point in time, what we have understood is that the COC was not really clear on what should be the path ahead. Should they outright accept the offer that Adani Properties has put in or not? For that, the COC they had not responded to the letters by Adani Property or Piramal Enterprises. In fact, they had just asked for a fresh round of bids to be submitted on the 18th of November, which was last week, during which they had clarified that the bids have to be submitted under the same options as earlier, or which were the options that were chosen by the bidders at the EOI stage. So at the EOI stage, the options that the bidders were given is either to bid for the entire company, which was option 1, or to bid for the retail book, or for the wholesale book and the slum rehabilitation book. Until that point, Oaktree Capital was the only bidder for the wholesale book. The last known bid they had submitted was around 31,250 crore rupees. The Piramal Enterprises had bid 26,000 crores, but only for the retail book. Adani Properties had bid 2,700 crore rupees for the wholesale book of DHFL and 50 crore on top of that for the slum rehabilitation book. SC Lowy had also submitted a bid only for the wholesale book, and it was at around 2,300 crore rupees. But now, after the letter has come in, after the fresh bids had come in on 18th of November, those bids were not opened by the Committee of Creditors. They have still not been opened by the Committee of Creditors. But it is understood that Adani Properties in that round also, despite the clear signal from the COC to bid under the same option as before, Adani Properties still put in a bid for the entire company. Now, what the idea behind the COC's decision to allow bidders to bid under any option is clearly value maximization. This is the only way that the COC can get bigger bids for the entire company. It may expect even Piramal Enterprises to go ahead and bid for the entire company. That is the option that, of course, Piramal will be given. But will they choose to do that or no, we will have to see. At this point in time, no clear date has been set for the submission of these fresh bids under any option. But in a day or two, we understand from sources that a date will be set for submission of these fresh bids. The COC will clarify that the idea is value maximization. We'll have to see whether Piramal accepts this and submits a fresh bid, whether Oaktree Capital also submits a fresh bid, or they are going to go against, they're going to say that this move by the COC to accept this offer by Adani Properties and go and allow everybody to bid under any option is something that they are not in favor of. So all of that will unfold in the next week or so, but clearly a very important consensus that the COC had, that DHFL had mentioned in their notification to the stock exchanges as well, that they are trying to come to a consensus on the bids. This consensus is now being reached, is what we are picking up from sources. It is going towards focusing on value maximization, which should be the COC's aim, and trying to get and allowing anybody and everybody to bid however they wish to get the maximum highest amount of bids that they can get from these 4 players at this point in time. We'll have to see how that pans out in the next week or so.